What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to solve a common issue on Foxbody Mustangs, and that would be the door pin and bushings. Yeah, so as you can see, this door does not shut. I can lift it up and get it to go, but obviously our door pins and bushings are worn and shot. And honestly, if you even, the sun's in a perfect spot right now, you can, well, the camera kind of blocks it, but maybe you can see it. It's pretty worn. You can even visibly see it. And you can also tell if it's starting to go if you got some up and down play in the door. Look at that. Tons of play, guys. So yeah, this thing is in desperate need of pins and bushings. So there's quite a few videos on this, some which make it seem very simple, in my opinion anyway. So this is probably going to be a little longer video. There's some good ones out there though, like Mustang Geek has a really good one, which is kind of what I'm probably going to be following for the most part. Brutal gives some real world insight, as he always does, and I'm probably going to do a little longer one just with more real world experiences from a DIY perspective. I'm pretty experienced, I've done a lot of stuff, so I could give you an experienced opinion if this is something that is absolute, you know what, or if it's, a little bit on the easy side if you got the right tools. I believe personally I got all the right tools to get this done today, so let's go ahead and get this thing knocked out. All right, guys, we're here at the fender and the door. Now, this car is in desperate need of a paint job. Pretty crappy paints, had a crappy paint job in its past, but I still want to avoid any mishaps and chipped paint if we can avoid it. So I'm going to tape everything out in between the door and the fender. So I got some tape here. You can see I'm just going to run it, get it pressed along this edge here. All right, I got a little happy right there, but yeah, guys, I'm going to do probably 2 or 3 layers on each edge all the way down, so we can avoid any chipping, or at least the best of our abilities, and try to protect some of this so we don't mess anything up while we're doing this job. So preventative maintenance on this job, I think, is going to be half the battle. So definitely going to get everything prepped out here, and then we'll get in and getting this thing off. All right, guys, I got 2 layers of tape here going all the way down and all the way up. Not the prettiest tape job by any means, but it's gonna work. All right, I even did a little taping in here because I can be a little reckless, so just to try to prevent myself from myself, I did a little bit more taping in here, which I might end up doing some more than this once I get going. At the very least, I got some tape in here for some protection. And second thing, I'm going to be taking this door panel off. Do you have to? Absolutely not. But again, I'm going to prevent myself from myself. I mean, there's going to be a lot of grabbing going on the door and all that. I actually got the piece right here was cracked. I got that fixed by an interior guy I work with. I work at a dealer, so I'm gonna put that on. I got a new hardware kit for it, so I'm going to essentially restore this whole door in its entirety with the door panel and with the door pins and bushings. Okay, so just want to note that I will be taking the door panel off just for safety purposes. Basically, I don't want to mess anything up. All right, so I mean, there's multiple videos on doing this. It's pretty straightforward, you know what I mean. Take the Phillips out, take the Phillips out of this. You're gonna have a Phillips here, 10 mil here, 10 mil here. Disconnect the harnesses, a screw down in the corner for the speaker grill. Gonna have a bunch of push clips, and you're gonna pull the whole door panel off. All right, so I'm gonna take this door panel off, and then we'll get into the actual job. All right, guys, door panel is off. Once again, not necessary, but I'm trying to prevent myself from getting upset with myself, so it's off. And now we got some room in here for activities, and hopefully we can get in here without messing anything else up. Cut these stock pins out, and then we'll go ahead and get into installing the new ones, and hopefully we'll resurrect this door and it'll close as it was once intended. All right, so there's our factory pins and bushings. You can see how warped out that one is right there. And I'm sure that bottom one's probably not much better, guys. So let's go ahead and get these things cut out. All right, guys, so we obviously need to support the door before we start cutting out the pins that are actually still holding it in. So there's, I'm sure, a variety of ways you can go about doing this. I currently have 1 jack and 2 jack stands, okay? I also have a backup jack here waiting in case I need it as of right now, what I have is the jack stands have rubber pads on them, so you can get rubber pads for your jack stands so they don't damage anything. They're probably like, I don't know, a ½ inch away right now, but they're there for when we need them, just for safety and support. And this actually is a jacking block. It's, you know, pretty much a notched, big, thick rubber block that you can use for pinch welds to avoid damaging them. And honestly, I think it's almost the perfect tool for this job because, in my opinion, with this pinned up against this, you know, here, so we're pinned up against the jack with that lip, I mean, it's pretty stiff and stable. I think it might help support that, definitely prevent any possible accidents like the door falling over or something like that. So I think that might help assist us greatly with keeping the door in place. So pretty much just have rubber here, guys, set up. So rubber on the jack stands, rubber on the jack. You could also do the microfiber method, which I'm extremely not opposed to, but I'm gonna go ahead and run with this, guys. Should be good. Let's go ahead and get into the job. All right, guys, so as everybody indicates in this job, the easiest way is to just go ahead and cut the old pins out, pry them out, knock out the bushings, and then reinstall. We are gonna be cutting it out with a Dremel. Obviously, that's probably the best, smallest, you know, rotary tool you can get in there to do this, what most people do. So I have a Dremel tool. I have a diamond cutting wheel. I only got one, but I also got diamond cutting wheels from Amazon. So these aren't Dremel branded, but, you know, if I needed some spares, there's quite a few here. All right, I will start off with the actual diamond wheel from Dremel. So that's how we're going to be cutting it out. Now, also with these pins, we're not going to be cutting them in half. Okay, we're going to be cutting them about 3/4. So I'm going to cut this upper one about right here, and we're going to cut this lower one 3/4 down here. Okay, that's what Mustang Geek suggested, and it makes sense. I think it might make it easier to get these old pins out, so that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to cut it about right here and then right down here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get the Dremel set up. We're going to start cutting. All right, guys, we are set up, ready to cut here. Now, before I start cutting, I just kind of wanted to put this up to the pin, and if you can see, it doesn't reach. All right, so we're gonna have to start hitting this on an angle, which, you know, because we're blocked by that actual hinge. I thought maybe doing a bigger wheel, this is almost like twice the size, would be a little better, but I don't know if I'm the hugest fan of this either, because it's going to put you really close in proximity to the door and to that hinge. So, like, you know, if you bounce off either way, just the slightest centimeter, you're going to start cutting up other stuff that you don't need cut marks or cut holes in. So I think it's just going to have to go on an angle with the diamond wheel. You know what I mean? You can make an executive decision on what you choose to do. I was thinking about the thin metal right here with that, but like I said, it's extremely close on both sides here. So just to avoid potentially damaging other parts here, I think I'm just going to go with my original plan here, and we're going to use this diamond wheel and try to cut it through. There we go. Yeah, see, I'm already bouncing off right to my tape, thankfully. All right, guys, I got a little bit started. I did bounce off like an idiot right there. So I'm going to put a little bit more tape on both sides of this just to try to prevent any, you know, molestation on my part here from slipping up. So I don't anger myself. We're going to take more tape and get it in here, but we're going to keep cutting here in a second and we'll see what it gets us. All right, guys, we're going to get cutting again. I don't even have nice paint, and I'm really trying not to screw this up and make any more marks or spots, cuts, whatever that we don't intend to be there. So if you got really nice paint, or, you know, anything close to being a good driver paint, tape the hell out of it. My opinion. Let's go. Like, once you start, you'll slide off. I slid off, but I only hit the tape, so we're good. Oh, not good. So yeah, guys, I just wedged in between that tape right there. I don't know if it went all the way through though. I kind of got stuck, so maybe I'm good. Not much progress from that little bit of cutting, but we'll keep going here and see what happens. All right, guys, so we got that started with the diamond wheel. That wheel is really small, man. You really got to go crazy on an angle with it. So I'm going to risk it all and try the bigger one here. This 1.5, so metal regular cutting wheel from a Dremel cutting kit. So probably going to slip off just like I did and hit that side, but we got like 4 pieces of tape there. So let's see if I can start getting this a hair straighter, which would be a lot more ideal. Guys, I think I might be through it. This wheel is way far superior than the other one. Yeah, dude, we're right there. It's like got the littlest bit of metal left. I just need to get in there and get that last little piece out, and I think we're all the way through. All right, guys, I'm hoping the sun isn't completely washing out the shop, but I'm gonna send a flathead in and try to break free whatever that last little bit is in there. Yeah, we're through. Oh yeah, it's all the way through. 100%. Yup, look at that, guys. Get you in there, but you can see completely through. I don't know, man. I would say I maybe have 2 minutes of cutting into that. So I started it with the diamond, finished it with that regular metal cutting Dremel wheel, and I mean, we're golden. That cut really easy, honestly. I'm not overly offended about how long that took or anything like that. What I am going to try now is I'll set the camera down here and see if I can try to pry this out, maybe that top part. It's going to allow it. Seeing one thing too, you don't really want a crazy angle on this because you want to be able to work it out. So I know that was what Brutal was saying with his. He was having trouble working it out simply because it was on such a deep angle that he had to try to get that out. It's not trying out, that's for sure. She's definitely fighting. So as far as getting this out, might be a challenge here, man. So we got it cut. Now it's a matter of getting it out. So we'll see what we can do here and try to start working this thing out. All right, guys, I'm just going to be working on this upper one at the moment. I'm trying to get this thing to free itself up here. It does not want to pry out, which is a little concerning. You know what I mean? See other people kind of easily pry these out. This ain't prying out one way or the other. So see if I can start getting this thing to free up here. It's kind of just bending the hinge, which is definitely not ideal. Yeah, it's just going with the hinge. So I've created some space in here, but that's just because we got play from the hinge, not because it's actually coming out. Bit concerning for sure. The cutting honestly is not the hard part, it's getting the pin out. So yeah, we'll grab a little bit bigger pry bar here. Maybe it just needs a little bit more persuasion, I don't know. Let's see how I can get that in there. I just don't want to bend this hinge all out of whack because I'm just bending the hinge, man. I'm not getting that to come out of the hinge. I'm bending the hinge, which is not good. So yeah, I want to keep messing with it. We'll see where we get. All right, guys, this thing was fighting me. So I think part of the problem was it's rusted in there. Okay, this is a Northeast car. It's got rusted frame rail, rusted floor pans, been in the tri-state area for its entire life. So she's rusty, and you know, obviously these aren't the prettiest hinges. So what I used was a mini ductor, Venom HP. Not everybody's gonna have this. This thing is not cheap, but I heated it up and it allowed it to essentially free. I got this panel popper in here, and if you look, I'm getting her worked out here, and I should be good to go ahead and get this thing out. Okay, so I just heated it up and then got the right pry tool underneath of it. I did bend that hinge a little bit just from being in here with pry bars, trying to get this thing to come out. But I think we got it. I have to put another washer on it. Ooh, lost my hand. Almost there. Just building it up with washers. Almost got it, guys. Yep, got it. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is everything everybody says it is, guys. This is a nightmare. Holy crap. Well, if you saw what I did there, I actually built it up as it was coming out with washers, and I was using a 9mm. Fits around the body perfect of the pin. Honestly, a 9mm is your best pry bar with this, in my opinion. Get a 9mm, use it as your pry bar. I bent my panel popper. Pry bars weren't enough to quite get under that head. So this, 9mm, that is the answer. Got it out. You can see this is bent up a hair. I'll see if maybe I can give that a whack with a mallet and get it back down. But other than that, we're going to knock that lower portion out, and we should have this upper hinge completely free. All right, so we got that upper part of the pin out, as you can see, knocked free. Now we got to get the bottom part out. So I'm hoping this is going to be a little bit easier because I'm going to try to drive it out. You can take a big punch, probably, is what's essentially what I have right here. This is a round 5/16 3-foot weldable rod. Okay, Brutal suggested using this in his video, and it sounded like a great idea. And we're about to put it to the test. So if you can see, got it pretty much lined. And what he was struggling with is because you have to cut it at such an angle, it really wasn't making great contact. Because I got mine a little bit straighter because I used a bigger cutting wheel than just the diamond wheel. I have more of a flat surface, and I think it's going to allow me to get on there and knock it free. So there we go, guys. I'm going to get up here, all the way up there. Luckily I'm tall. I can knock this free. If you want to make it shorter, you can just cut this rod and make your own little tool. Basically make a, you know, a half punch, a 1.5 foot punch, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna try it in its full capacity right now because I'm too lazy to cut this thing, but let's see if we can get this thing out. It's working. Oh, just a hair. Need to get in there. All right, I got most of that pushed through. I think what I'm gonna do is grab a littler punch. All right, guys, I was gonna try to see if I can finish punching that out, but I think I might be able to just manipulate the door a little bit and wiggle it out. Potentially. Yep, there we go. Got it. It's out, guys. Holy crap. This thing here, absolute nightmare. So you can see right where I cut it, it's really not too bad of an angle considering the room we got to work with it. So there it is, guys. Original pin, extremely molested, but out. So let's get on to the next step. All right, guys, I don't know if anybody noticed up to this point, but I just made a discovery. This is not factory. All right, both of these pins should look the same in the same orientation. Okay, so they should look like this. As you can see, both of them are the same pins, going in the same direction, same orientation with that, you know, open looking end at the top. This, on the other hand, if we look at it, it has a flat part here at the top. And if we look at the bottom, there is a cotter pin in there. So somebody has already done a form of bushing, or a form of pin at least, on this bottom one. I'm pretty sure that both bushings are probably, you know, not in the best shape. So we're gonna do this one and get it out as well. So I'm gonna still do 2 bushings and 2 pins, but yeah, guys, this thing is definitely been done. And something funny, this car came with 3 door pins, and it was odd. I'm like, why do I only have 3? Well, it makes sense because they bought 4, and that 4th one is down there. And if you look at the top, it has that same top as this does. They just painted it and they didn't do any more. So they did this bottom one, and they got 2 for the other side and 1 other one for the upper one that they never did and left the original. So very weird that we just did a bottom door pin on this door. You know, that's the nature of these cars. You never really know what's been done and who's been in here and what's been hacked and molested, you know what I mean? So that's been done, guys. I'll see if those bushings look good, honestly, because that bottom one, it doesn't look bad. And the upper one is definitely new, so it has the bushings that came with the car. So like I said, this came with all of them. It looks like it has good bushings. So I'll be back with you guys in a minute and we'll get this finalized. All right, guys, so we're on to this bottom one here. Now, as I mentioned, this has been done before. How they decided to do one and not the top one is beyond me. So I don't know who or why or how this transpired of them doing this on the bottom and leaving the upper original. But yeah, definitely not a good idea considering how destroyed these upper bushings are. And honestly, these bushings down here might be okay. So it is the same, you know, product that I have here. I don't know where these pins and bushings are from. Like I mentioned, they came with the car. So I already took the cotter pin out. It was very molested in there. You can see it right here. So pop that out. So now we're going to go ahead and try to work this bottom pin out. And since it is aftermarket, should just pop right up like that. So if this was original, I would be cutting it just like I did the upper one. So I would cut it right here, and then we would knock it out and pry it out and just pretty much approach it as the same way as the upper hinge and pin. So there we go, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get that bottom pin out, and then we'll see if we can get new bushings in, get everything squared away, aligned, and our new pins back in. So we're gonna see if this pin has any play. Yep, I'm pushing it with my hand and it's coming out a hair. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're moving a little bit. So I got enough lip here, if you can see. Maybe I can get this aftermarket pin out. All right, I want to grab a panel popper that I was using on the upper portion, the upper hinge. There we go. Yeah, this is working great. Came right out. See if I can pull it out here for the remainder. You got it? I have my girlfriend here supporting it. Awesome help. There we go, guys. Aftermarket pin out, and this is definitely the same as the rest of the pins that the car came with. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to evaluate the bushings that were put in prior, because it looks like we do have new bushings down here that were put in from the, you know, whenever they did this aftermarket pin the first time. And then we're going to have to rebushing the top. So right now I'm going to check it out, and then I'll get back with you guys when we have it figured out. All right, guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to slowly slide this door back so I can address the bushings. Upper ones obviously are toast, and we got to get those out and some new ones in. So we're going to back the door out. We're going to check the bottoms out and get the new ones in the top in. All right, guys, you can see the door is free, and I got it backed up a hair. I just have it on the jack still, same setup, 2 jack stands, support from my girlfriend and me, and on the jack. So I think we're good. We are completely free, and oh man, I see a problem. Found a problem. Yep, you probably heard that. That is a bushing that fell out. So this car could have benefited from oversized bushings from LMR. So we only have the regular ones. So this bottom is, whoa, it's toast. So I might end up, since this just fell out, I'm gonna see if maybe I can push a new bushing in the bottom here. So that lower does need to be addressed. I guess that's why they replaced this. This hole is so worn, it's blown out, and that's why LMR does offer oversized bushings. This is a regular one. So I do think if I pop regular ones in, especially in the top for now, that it'll get this door a lot better than it is. But I think I'm going to have to go back, knock these pins back out at a separate time, and get in oversized bushings, because this is falling out, guys. So yeah, we need oversized bushings on this car, which makes sense because this door is soggy as hell. So the upper one is good though. That does make me feel a little bit better. It does have a hair bit of play. But I just can't make it fall out like that lower one did, which is good. So at least there's some integrity left here on this bottom hinge. But upper ones, I'll bring you in here. Would you look at that? That thing is toast, absolute toast. So probably can get you from the bottom. I can't see it, you guys can, but I'm sure it probably looks just as bad as the top one does. So yeah, this thing is cooked, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get some new bushings in here. I'm undecided on that top one, but obviously those two need to be replaced. We're gonna put a new one in that bottom part of the hinge on the lower side, and we'll see if we can get this back aligned. All right, guys, as you know, we already got the bottom bushing that just fell out. So what we're gonna do is focus on the top. I wanna get the tops out and in, and then I'll make a executive decision on what I'm gonna do with the bottom here. So as you know, the top is absolutely destroyed, so I should be able to kind of slip these bad boys out here. I'm hoping with a little bit of prying here like this. If you can see, it's coming right out. Yeah, that thing fell right out. There it is. Look at this thing, guys. That thing is a complete oval. So at least the one that fell out from the bottom is still intact internally in the inside. It's the outside diameter is a bit womped out. But this here, look at that, guys. That is toast. So I'm gonna get this bottom one out. Should be able to do it the same way. I'm just using a panel pry tool. It's OEM Tools panel pry. This one's fighting a hair. I think I might try to knock it out a hair with a punch and see if I can get it out. All right, guys, I got a punch on an angle here. I'm just trying to like kind of get on the edge of it. Just give it a couple taps and there it's gone. I don't know where it went, but it's out. So we got it out. Bushings are out, guys, and time to get some new ones in there. All right, guys, I found the other one that fell. Look at this. These things were, I mean, beyond bad. Look at this, man. They're both missing sides. Like, I mean, unreal how bad both of these were. They've locked together. Absolute trash, guys. These things were needed a long time ago. Now, I mentioned, if you can see, that bottom hole there is womped out pretty bad. That needs an oversized bushing, in my opinion. If we look at the uppers, though, which was so troubled, it hasn't quite gotten to that point yet as that bottom one. So both of these are still pretty round, and I think we're okay with a normal bushing. The only one that appears to really need an oversized bushing is that bottom one at the very bottom. So, all right, guys, so I got a couple new bushings here. Like I said, these came with the car, not 100% what they're from. That's it right there. That's the bushing part number. I've Googled this. I haven't even, I mean, these got to be old because I've Googled this part number and I can't even find where they're from. So I don't know, but they're going to work because it obviously was working on the bottom one. So what I'm going to do is get this top bushing in first. I just slid it on the pin. I'm just utilizing the pin that was already in the car. So we're going to use that one. I'm going to drop it in up there and I'm going to slightly start persuading that to go in with a small hammer, guys. So we got a small hammer here. Just gonna start hitting that in. There it is, perfect. Got that upper bushing in, so we'll pop our pin back out of the bushing and we'll check that bushing out, see how she looks. Uh-oh. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. All right, well, I just learned the hard way. Hammering this thing in with the pin worked great, but I can't get it back out. So, learn from my mistake. I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this pin in half so I can keep the bushing intact. I got a spare, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, it gets stuck right here. So if you hammer this down with the pin, it's not gonna be able to come back out because it's tight now. So yeah, I screwed up. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out because obviously I'm not gonna get it out any other way. And then we'll go ahead and get this finalized on the bottom. All right, guys, cut that pin out. So I made a terrible mistake and decided to hammer that new bushing in from the top. It worked great, but obviously you can't get the pin back out, so don't make the same mistake I did. But bushings in, what I would say is just put the bushing in and then lightly tap it in, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and get the bottom bushing in now. I'm gonna try the same way. I should be able to hammer it in and then drop it down. So we're gonna go ahead and get that bottom one in, and then we'll be good on the upper hinge bushings. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get the bushing in through the bottom. I'm gonna do the same method and try to hammer it in with the pin. There should be enough room for it to fall out. So we're gonna slide it in right here through the top. All right, got it holding. All right, so I'm gonna lightly hammer this in from the bottom here. I should have just enough room with this little hammer here to seat it home. All right, I think that's good. Looks pretty good. We'll check it out from the bottom here. Yeah, that's good to go. So I'm gonna give it a light tap right here with the hammer from the bottom, and then do a light from the top. Both of those bushings look good to go, guys. So we have both bushings in on the upper hinge. Let's get that bottom one done. All right, so as mentioned, the bottom hinge here had aftermarket pin and bushings already in there. It was already replaced, okay? So this upper bushing here, I think it's good. I'm just gonna leave it alone. It's already in there. It's decently tight. I do think it probably could benefit from an oversized bushing as well, but it's holding. That bottom one is another story. So we can see how womped out that is. If I put in a new bushing on that side, it just kind of falls out. So I'm gonna put this new bushing in, and you can see it just falls right out. All right, not good at all. So I'm gonna do something very unorthodox. I'm gonna take some butyl tape here. I'm gonna put a little bit around it, just kind of smash it around. This is more gonna be a temporary fix until I get some oversized bushings, but this should be good, okay? So I just got a little bit of butyl tape. This will help form it and stick it into the hole once we have this pressed in. So butyl tape is used on a lot of automotive applications. It's very good at holding stuff in place, and that's exactly what I'm going to use it for. So I'm going to take this and push it in. It's fighting me a hair, but if I take a hammer from the bottom, I think I might be able to sneak that in. Let's see here. Almost. Yeah, it's in. Actually, that butyl tape did. The butyl tape did some justice, guys. Oh my God, this thing is in there nice and tight. Don't know how it's gonna hold over time. So yes, this is a quick fix and it's working now. I'm sure once there's pressure from the door and full weight of the door on that butyl tape, it's gonna, you know, impact it some. But for right now, it's got the bushing in place without falling out. I'm not touching it. It's sitting there in place, so we can get this back aligned, get the door pins in, and we can get this back together. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get these hinges aligned back up here. I'm done cutting, so I'll take some of this tape out here real quick. So I'll get some of that tape right here out. I'm gonna get this little tape behind the hinge out. More tape the better when you're doing the cutting, guys, because I definitely hit a couple things a couple times and the tape honestly saved me. So I would highly recommend taping everything as best as possible. Get this tape off of this bottom hinge, and I think we're ready to go ahead and slide this back into position here. So I'm going to grab the door here and go ahead and start guiding it back in position. Whoa, why isn't that going? All right, we're about aligned, guys. Tape is also going to be helpful in this situation when you're moving the door around. All right, so I'm gonna try to get the bottom pin in first. Just kind of looks a little easier, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. It looks pretty aligned at the moment. Definitely got to be in the right spot. Got it in the top hole. Just got to get it in that bottom one here. It's in there. I just kind of got to get it. There we go. All right, so we got that bottom pin in, okay? So bottom is aligned, good to go. We came in from the top down to the bottom. Now we're going to do the opposite for the top. So we're going to go up with this one, okay? We're going to go up into the bushing from the bottom. So see, we're going in. I'm going to have to manipulate the door a little bit while doing this. Really fighting on this bottom, on this upper bottom part of the hinge right now. Got it. And just got to get it through the upper part. All right, guys, so this, I got it in the bottom bushing. It's fighting me hard to get in that upper one, and I think I know why. I think it's because when I was trying to get that upper part of the original pin, it bent that upper part of the hinge. And I think I need to bend it back down a hair. I think it's off. It's actually the problem. It looks a hair better. Let's see if I can send it home with some pliers here. Let's get a nice grip on it and clamp it in. Yeah, it's definitely working here. Not quite as much as I'd like. Yeah, it's that upper part of that hinge. It's kind of off a hair from when I got it out, so I'm going to mess with that a hair and I should be able to get that upper part of the pin in. All right guys, got that pin worked in. All right, so both pins are officially in. Now the issue is going to be, if I can get you in there, is getting the cotter pin in. You see how not much of that is visible? It's a known issue, and you'll hear other people complain about this if you read comments on these videos and do some research. See how you can't see it? Well, I figured out a fix in order to get that cotter pin in, and we should be good. Now, let me go ahead and put the camera down and we'll get those cotter pins in. All right, guys, so you could really use any cotter pin you want. I have seen some kits come with regular cotter pins like what was in this. For some reason, like I said, these pins came with the car, didn't have cotter pins with them. Very awkward, but a lot of the kits come with hair pins. So I want to try to utilize those. I just think they're a little bit better designed for the application here. So I'm going to try to squeeze in these hair pins right into both of our holes in our new pins. And the upper part of this hinge did kind of bend a hair from me trying to initially work out that original pin. So what I'm going to do is I have some big pliers here and I can press it down enough. I don't know if y'all try to zoom in, but I can press it down enough that I should be able to slide a cotter pin in. So we're going to clamp it down, the hinges on both the upper and the lower, and it should allow us to sneak this hairpin cotter pin right in, and we'll be done. So let's go ahead and get this thing in.
You need to go more on the...
Go this way a little bit. Turn.
Yeah, like your
there
angle.
you go. Now it's tight.
Squeeze harder.
No,
It
you
fell
can't.
out.
Oh my God, where'd it go? Oh, here, I got it.
I was gonna say, there's another one.
Hold on 1 second.
Do you have another glove for me or her? Just like force?
Push it.
Because like that hurt. Like, look.
All right, I got it. I figured. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's going. Steph, push. It went around a little bit. Steph, get it.
You gotta turn that way, Brody. There's no
can't.
there's no angle
Here.
for us to push.
Yeah,
it.
it's the
so
way the
hard.
holes lined up. That's the problem. Yeah.
This is why everybody hates this job.
Right. Go. Push.
Yeah.
That fucking.
Now we
I
got it.
got you.
Yeah. You like stabilized my arm.
I get in there.
We were making a
Hit
lot
the
of
camera.
noise.
Can you
Damn
please
it,
use
huh?
that?
Hit the camera.
What am I doing to it?
Teamwork makes the dream work. I got all that on camera. All right, so upper one's in. Took 3 people, but we got it. So actually worked out great. I have my girlfriend and my sister here, and we tag team this thing, and it worked well. Now we got to do the bottom. So wish us luck. Try to get that pin in through the bottom because it's the same situation. It's not quite as womped out as the top was, so it might be a hair, and I mean a hair easier, but being the fact that it's here on the bottom corner, that's going to make it hard in itself. So try to get that bottom pin in and we'll be good. All right guys, got the pin in the bottom as well. So pins are officially in. You can use a regular style cotter pin as well, like what was in there before. I just find the hairpin cotter pin style to be a little bit more I don't know, appropriate for this job. But there it is. I managed to sneak them both in and we are good to go. New pins and bushings installed. Now, moment of truth. Just back the jacks off. We're gonna see if she closes. Bang. Look at that, guys. Oh my God, first try. And the gap, I don't know if you noticed, it was a hair off. Although none of the gaps on this car are perfect by any means, this is definitely a lot better than it was. So there we go, guys. Look at that. Perfect open and close. It's not off anymore. This is exactly what this car needed. Perfect. Look at that. Now, does need the bushing here as well on the striker. I do have that. Came with the car as well. So I'm going to put that in as well. It's going to make this even better. But we're good to go, guys. This is completely fixed. So we're just going to take all the tape off and I'll bring you in for a final open and close, but this is done. All right, guys, we are back. Final result. She is good to go. Open, close, perfect. Crazy what some door pins can do. Got the door panel back on, looking good. Everything is looking really nice in here. The most that happened, now one thing, this, I don't know if anybody noticed, this was already here. I don't know what that's about, but really the only damage that I did, I guess you could say, is just the scratching on this upper part of the hinge. Everything else is good or was already there. Okay, so we are good. No damage in here. All right, gaps look better like I said, which is amazing. Opens and closes as intended, guys. Exactly what we wanted. So I hope this helped with some realistic expectation on doing the door pins and bushings on your Foxbody Mustang. Make sure you stay tuned, guys, because you never know when I might be wrenching on this thing again, and I'm always going to have some Fox content on the channel, guys, so stay tuned. So until next time.